So from a Matrix collection point of view, I have to say Revolutions is unfortunately the weakest. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel Lifestyle Critic. I hope you're having a brilliant day. So in this video we are going to be reviewing Matrix Revolutions, which is a science fiction action thriller movie that is the third and final installment as part of the original Matrix trilogy, before it then got rebooted with Resurrections. And whilst there are some enjoyable moments to be had in this movie, and whilst it was obviously inevitable for a massive humans versus machines war to be taking place in this movie, I just ultimately feel like it just wasn't as fun, cool, or as innovative as the first two Matrix movies were, and in turn I just feel like it has to be the weakest entry as far as all of the Matrix movies are concerned, and I'm going to be breaking it all down for you in this movie review. So the storyline in Revolutions picks up directly from the ending of Reloaded, as both of these movies were shot back to back, and we see a massive war taking place between all of the humans in Zion against all of the machines. So it is this massive all-in-out battle, which does look really, really cool. And whilst all of that is going on, we also see that the Smith character is now in the real world, having assimilated into the mind of the Bones character in Reloaded, and we see a massive battle taking place between him and with the Neo character. And like I keep saying in all of my movie reviews, I absolutely love all of the yin and yang relationship that Neo and Agent Smith have, and the battle that takes place in the real world with these characters, as well as the one actually that takes place in the virtual world. Both of those sequences, as always, are absolutely extraordinary. And we also see the Neo character is trapped in transition between the fake world and the real world, which is known as the train station. So we see firstly if he's able to get out of this, and also how he is going to be able to save mankind, which was very Christ-like in terms of how he is doing this and making a deal with all of the different machines. Now from a positives point of view, even though there wasn't as much philosophy as there were in all of the other Matrix movies, the little bit that they did have was really, really interesting. So for example, really questioning about the purpose that you have, and if you don't have a purpose then you get immediately deleted, which I think is just such an interesting social commentary based question, as all of the movies once again are posing all of the massive takeover of the real world and the virtual world by the unstoppable Smith character. I thought was absolutely wicked, and the massive battle between all of the humans and all of the machines felt very, very Final Fantasy and very, very Star Wars as well. However, from a negatives point of view, like I said before, this movie just wasn't that fun. I mean, of course, like I said, there is going to be this end of the worldly type battle taking place between the humans and the machines, and all of that is fine. I just didn't think it was as cool, innovative, or as slick as all of the other Matrix movies are. So whilst there was some enjoyment to be had from a storyline point of view in this movie, I just feel like it could have been so much better. So despite the fact that the storyline in Revolutions wasn't that impressive, the cast and characters, however, are really, once again, bringing their A game. So let's go through them one by one. So first up, of course, we have Keanu Reeves, who totally is bossing it as the Neo character. Really, really see a much more emotional side of this character, and he really is living up to his name of being the one and totally being the savior of all of the humans. And I just feel like all of the sequences with this character, for example, the mini sequences in the real world of Neo versus Agent Smith was really, really cool. And then when you take that into the virtual world, it was absolutely extraordinary. Not as good as it was in the first two movies, but regardless, Neo was such a wicked character in this movie. Next up we have Carrie-Anne Moss, who is once again returning as the Trinity character. Again, even though it's a bit of an end of the worldly type situation, I feel like this character really was no nonsense, especially when she was making a deal with the Merovingian and was telling him, look, you have to give us Neo back. So very, very defiant, but she didn't have as much to do as she did in the first two movies, and a really, really sad ending for this character before she then returned again. In Resurrections, we also have Laurence Fishburne returning as the Morpheus character. In the beginning, it's the traditional Morpheus character that we've seen in the first two movies in terms of being with the Trinity character and really helping her save Neo. However, after this, we saw a very different side of this character, as he was then mainly with Jada Pinkett Smith's character, really helping Niobe and the rest of the characters trying to prevent and save Zion from all of the machine massive takeover. And we also have Hugo Weaving returning as the Agent Smith character, really, really unstoppable, super relentless, and actually was really, really successful in taking over the entire Matrix space and is also aiming to destroy the real world as well. So a real massive threat, and really is a massive villain to both the machines and to the humans. And as always, a brilliant sequence between him and the Keanu Reeves Neo character. And we also have the Oracle, and I absolutely love her faith and hope versus the architect's planning architecture. And I really feel like these two characters are really working well together. And I love how they ended the movie along with the Sati character, who we obviously then see again played by Priyanka Chopra Jonas in Matrix Resurrections. So I feel like this continuation from the end of Revolutions was carried across into Resurrections really well. And whilst from a storyline point of view I didn't love this movie, I did think from a casting characters point of view it was still really great. So from a visuals point of view, again, whilst there were some cool moments in this film, they definitely weren't as good as the first two movies. But either way, let's look at a few of them. So first up we have, again, Neo versus multiple Agent Smiths, which was really cool. I mean, all of the rain aspects in terms of this final battle really was making it seem very end of the world-esque, but definitely, like I said before, not as good as the multiple agents battle that we saw in Reloaded. The massive war taking place between all of the human characters and all of the machine characters did look really impressive, and actually I do think that aspect does still stand up today. And the really hopeful ending. I love the fact that everyone was recreating the Matrix and was making it now Matrix 2.0, and a lot better and a lot bigger and a lot more grander, which again is something that they pick up really nicely in Resurrection. So from a visuals point of view, whilst it definitely wasn't as good as the first two movies, I do think it is still able to hold its own as well. So from a comparisons point of view, unfortunately, I have to say Matrix Revolutions is the weakest entry as far as the Matrix movie suite is concerned. In terms of comparing it to other science fiction movies, I think there are so many better other sci-fi movies, for example, Alita, Oblivion, Infinite, Ready Player One, Inception, The Tomorrow War. There are just so many better other alternative sci-fi movies to watch. So overall, with the Matrix Revolutions, you know, it was really nice to kind of see the conclusion as far as the original Matrix trilogy was concerned. But like I said, it just feels like any other sci-fi movie instead of feeling like this awesome, super slick, brilliant Matrix movie. And so for all of those reasons, I have to give it a 3.5 out of 10. Now I'd love to hear what you thought of Matrix Revolutions, so let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.